Watch a lot of cringe content.
You said you're watching a lot of cringe content?
I watch a lot of cringe content because there's something about it where my feed, slowly but surely, no matter what social media I'm on, has turned into just like the most deranged, chronically online people.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of love it. It kind of brings me a lot of joy to watch because I know I'm like, I might not have it all together, but at least I'm not this.
How do I put this? When I was living, like, I still live alone, but like when I was kind of in my depressive state and I would just like do not much, I would watch this guy whenever I need to like get myself out of a funk. And he is a guy who would randomly roll a number because let me see if I can find him. But he's got greasy black hair and really bad skin. And he used to do a thing called Pokey Nut November, where he would randomly roll a number and then have to go, I think, jerk off to that Pokemon. And I was like, man, life is bad. I can't. I know I'll never get like that, but like I gotta get up. I gotta go do some stuff. Like I have to create a karmic balance in the universe. It really put a lot of things in perspective for me. Like I'm like, wow, huh.
So we should probably start the episode.
And I'm so sorry. I hate to put this, but the reason I wanted to send it to you is because you have to physically see this guy to understand what I'm talking about.
Welcome to March 10th and day 69 of Pokénight Year, the challenge for the year 2022. We're on January, and then we get correspondence to Poké Summer for that day. Yesterday I got Sizzlepeed. It was awful. Let's see what the next one is. Boom. $3.99. God fucking damn it, dude.
It's a Badoo. Tell me when you're ready to start.
We've been recording. We've been recording.
And welcome back to the Tap 2 podcast. I am your host, Jonas, joined by the magnanimous, charming. He seems a little tired, but that's just because I just sent him to the darkest corner of the internet for like 5 minutes. And so that's why he's excited. The energy in which Stas started this call, over the moon, and then I went on a 10-minute rant and sent him a TikTok, and now you can see that he's harrowed. And
I want to forget.
yeah, you'll never get to know what TikTok it was too, which is perfect. Stas, speaking of things that are harrowing and that really kind of take the wind out of our sails,
we're wearing the same shirt. No, it's the same colored. We woke up today feeling pink and salmon. Is that your shirt?
Yeah. We were feeling bright. We were feeling pleasant. It's good. And because we wanted to talk about one of our favorite things that I don't think we talk about as much as we usually do. We're gonna be talking about some gaming stuff today, and the gaming thing in particular is we're gonna be talking about a lot of the state of gaming. Talk about some stuff that PlayStation has going on, some stuff that Xbox has going on. There's been a lot of changes over at Xbox. And Stas, what are you bringing to the table today? What do we got?
I'd like to talk a little bit about the newest TCG hitting the market, and that is Palworld.
The Pokemon ripoff?
Yeah, remember we talked about it in a previous episode, how there was some accusations that Palworld had used AI to generate Pokemon. I have not played Palworld, but the only clips I've seen is like you riding a Zapdos figure while shooting an AK-47. Like
it's the guns for me that really throw me off everything. Because
for me, it's the slave labor. You put Pokemon basically in camps, and you're like,
he got me. I've been outwoked.
My favorite episode from the bonus content, which you should watch when we played Fortnite, is when I was editing it and you were looking at the map and you just go, Wokeland. But yeah, we're going to talk about Palworld TCG and sort of the state of what it means to create a new TCG in a market that's pretty dominated by Pokemon and Magic. But let's talk about let's talk about the Jonas first. How is Jonas doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm doing all right. I'm in my personal life over the moon. Life's great. In my nerd life, it's touch and go because I was very excited to play a bunch of fun games on my PlayStation, and I ended up playing old ass Fortnite because the state of PlayStation is kind of rough right now. the big news that's coming out of Sony right now is that Sony announced that it will completely end physical disc production for all new PlayStation games starting January 2028, which seems like a pretty far away, but you have to remember these things come quickly. Not to get existential, sorry for everybody, but
well, they're telling us this now, right? So that
yeah,
we can say like nobody didn't see this coming. They're definitely laying the groundwork to be like, no, it's no physical discs, and also all of your, cloud storage, which you don't technically own. It's all licensed. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah. It is another step away from ownership of anything, which is something that like obviously big corporations are a big fan of, is when you stop owning the thing, they then now own everything and can like control what you have, and like it becomes very different.
Yeah.
Are you a big disc guy? Do you just get everything digitally anyway? Like what is your because you play on PC, so that kind of like almost means that everything you get is digital anyways.
Yeah, ever since I switched to PC back in like 2018 or something like that, like I just bought off the Steam library or sailed the 7 seas. But I haven't owned a disc, but like when I got my Switch in like 2022, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy the physical cartridges, which is kind of funny because now I'm like, fuck, I gotta change out Super Smash to like play Link, which I didn't have to do before. But I don't know, there was something so incredible like when I was younger about going to GameStop, trading in a game for half the dollar amount that it was worth, and then getting like another physical disc. That was just like, and then like, were you the type of kid who put your discs in different cases?
I got a lot of my discs from, so shockingly, as a kid, you could get a lot of them from the thrift store. So I would like, my thrift store was really weird. In the middle of it, there was a thing called like the bazaar, where you could like go and get games that fell off a truck. Wink. And so I would talk to like the guy in the back, and I'd be like, "Hey, I heard you got that new Sly Cooper just dropped. It'd be a shame if one of those made it into my hands and you got this $20." So a lot of times they would be like cheaper by the dozen would actually have a new video game in it because I'd be buying it illegally. It was a whole
it's
thing.
Just the vehicle to transport you the disc.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays I loved it. I have a whole shelf over there that is like discs, like with PlayStation games and Switch games, because there is something nice about being like, I have this disc. I also get a lot of my stuff secondhand, so it's really cheaper for me to just be like, hey, this game came out 3 months ago, everyone beat it, and now they're putting it on like eBay. I can just go buy one for, instead of $70, I can pay like 40 or 30 for it, and it's sick. Like a lot of those Resident Evil games are like $5-10 on eBay right now, and they're great games. The remakes are incredible. So it is a way like to get cheaper games really quickly and easily, and to share games, because I loan out a lot of my games to my friends because I go like, hey, I'm not playing this right now. I really only have the bandwidth for 2 games, maybe 1. And so do you want to borrow this? And my friends will take games for like months at a time. Like I have a lending like library, and that's not really going to be possible soon.
No, I think that's exactly where Sony's seeing. It's what Netflix did with sharing accounts, right? Like Sony sees that if you buy a game and then you loan out the physical disc to me, I didn't buy that game, but I have access to it because I have the physical copy of it. That's $70 lost for them. So really it just comes down to the fact that they want me to also buy the game. I would not be shocked if down the future to like compensate people of not having physical discs, if Sony sits there and says like there are now like referral programs. You bought the $70 game and you referred your friend to buy $70, you get something for that, just to keep that ball rolling.
Yeah, and I don't want to like I'm not against digital games. I just don't like when digital is literally the only thing you can do. I would, and because physical games, also for physical games, I was reading up on it, and they were talking about how physical games also provide like an actual job market, right? Because people in factories have to make those games, and distribution becomes a thing, and storefronts become a thing, and it's like a whole ecosystem that like kind of begins to die out for no reason. And also, like, a game's a real thing. It's a physical thing I own. It's mine. I can be like, this is my thing. And like loaning it and lending it. And also, PlayStation was the company that at E3 2013, they made a big fuss about like being like, hey, your game is your game. Loan it out, lend it out. You own this
Yeah.
thing. And for them, and I know it's been a decade plus, but to go back on that kind of like integral promise is really scummy to me. That's just my opinion, though.
No, I agree, because it had to be like a few years ago when the when the PS5 had maybe its second wave of like popularity, or maybe it even was on launch, I forget. The system offered a physical copy, like you could buy one that had a CD drive, or you could buy just a solely digital one. I mean, that right there is cue enough. Like, they were priming people for this, because the digital one was what, like $150 less, because they were like, well, it's one big key component that's not a part of the system. If you just buy all your games online and you're just buying the license to those games, you're not actually owning them. So yeah, I mean, it's like, it's darn you capitalism, but like that's exactly what it is. They've primed us to quite literally not own the thing that we have paid for.
And also, with the PlayStation 7 being rumored to be released like December of next year, I mean, though, not PlayStation, PlayStation 6. Sorry,
they're skipping 6.
Yeah. Big evangelists. They were like, 6 is the devil's number. Let's go straight to 7. It's like how hotels don't have 13 on them. But it's, I wouldn't be, I mean, I'd be appalled, but I wouldn't be shocked. Does that make sense?
Sure.
That if it didn't have a disc slot, like I literally would, like, because they're making such an active move away from it.
I would think it would I would say 95% chance it's not. I could see potentially a world in which they sell you a $250 CD drive that you can like USB in, but then like, the argument is like, okay, at that point just buy the digital game. But like, just saying, burning discs is still a thing out there for the people. You can copy anything onto a disk drive.
If buying games is not owning it, then pirating games is not stealing. That's clear. It's very, I mean, hey, I don't own it. I didn't steal it. That seems fair.
Loaded.gg is a great place to get secondhand markets.
Also, like, hear me out. You wouldn't download a car. I would download a car. If I could download a
3D
car,
printing is now a thing.
Yeah. fuck you. All right, I would pirate a car. You know, because here's the thing: stealing a car is different than pirating a movie. I'm not robbing a guy. I'm not busting in some dude's crib and stealing his disc. But if I could download a car for free online and it got me from point A to point B, if I could Tron that shit up, yeah, I would. What you gonna do about it?
I think it's going to be like it's also very apropos that this announcement is coming along right as GTA 6 is about to drop.
Yeah,
because
that's gonna be apparently a very digital first, like, heavy rollout for GTA 6. That's what they're saying.
Oh, I'm sure it's probably going to be like 250 gigs. It's going to eat up your entire storage just on your one console.
Yeah, my console I think has like. I think 512. I don't even think it has a terabyte on there. And like, these new games are not small. Like, you've seen the meme where it's like it's like a indigenous person tracking footsteps, and it's like 125 gig. A modern developer has been here. You know what I mean? Like, it is really just like, I'm like, ew, and I'm tired of it. Is that too crazy to say?
No, I think like my aunt just was moving out of her house and I was helping her move, and she had a PlayStation 2 like in good condition. So I really want to get like new. Yeah, I was like, this is mine now. Instead of payment, just give me that. Well, because also, it kind of like affects the secondhand market. There is a shop down in South Philly that sells, like classic video game consoles and classic video games, and like a used PlayStation 2, something that came out in what, like 2002, I think the PlayStation 2 came out.
Sure.
A PlayStation 2 is $150. that system is not worth $150, but the nostalgia behind the fact that you get a controller and you get physical games and you have like actual memory discs that plug in, like that is what is causing it to be $150. That technology is so outdated. And also, we're so accustomed to seeing higher end graphics now that like when we're going to play it, like you're purely playing it for the nostalgia factor. You're not playing because the game looks pretty.
Yeah, it's that clear. It's like, well, also like there's some cool designs that happened in games before that like we don't really revisit a lot. And like because of the limitations of devices, a lot of times they had to find creative solutions. I'm one of the belief that like oftentimes modern games are better than older games just because they don't have as many limitations in regards to technology.
Yeah.
And like it is one of the mediums that is like so dependent on the technology it's being built on, like whereas movies and books and TV isn't as dependent on that, but that's neither here nor there. And it sucks because like PlayStation is kind of the de facto winner of like the console war of this generation, right? Like the difference between people who owning a PlayStation to owning an Xbox is so high. But so it sucks to be like, hey, you're at the 1 yard line and fuck it, I'll fumble the ball. I got nothing to do. But let's go take a look. Let's go pan on over to the people on the other side of the aisle. Let's take a look at Xbox and what they're getting up to. They've just Xbox as a corporation recently got a new chief executive officer in one Asha Sharma, which is like apparently she is doing a lot of upheavals over at Xbox. Do you know anything about what she's getting going?
No, tell me about it.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, major layoffs. The gaming industry already has like a layoff issue, but let's keep it going. Get the chainsaw
Elon
going.
Chainsaw ass.
Yeah, because I believe it's a layoff of 3,200 roles through 2027, which is a lot of people.
Do they talk about like who they've laid off? I assume it's mostly developers, but do they talk about, you know, who is getting laid off? Because I have to imagine AI is a fucking factor into these developments.
Well, I'm getting this from xboxnews.xbox.com, which I'm like, all right, you guys probably telling me a little bit of the truth.
That sounds like a biased source, but okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's what I'm thinking. This is my thought process on journalistic integrity. If I'm hearing it from the horse, if the horse is telling me it's bad, then it's probably a little bit worse. So I trust bad news coming from the horse. If the horse is telling me good news, I'm like, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. If the horse is telling me bad news, I'm like, God damn, horse, this is probably ass. So I don't know specifically the roles that were like phased out, but I believe it's all to address operational costs. Essentially, they're hemorrhaging money. Also, but even though they are, you know, laying off a tons of people, they're also putting people back to work. Bethesda as a game studio because they were acquired, they are now being forced to make games again. That is the big they went to Todd and they were like, your ass gotta work. You can't you can't kick it. You got to do some stuff.
You failed, and where did that bring you? Back to me.
They're gonna focus on a lot more key franchises: Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein. And they're putting a lot less focus on Elder Scrolls Online, which is one of their key like markets, right? It's essentially a WoW type, you know, MMORPG. But it's gonna get a lot less love moving forward. Here is my thought process on that. I think it's very good to put this studio to work, focusing on what makes a really good first party and exclusive is an IP. The reason Nintendo gets to keep doing what Nintendo does is because Nintendo has such strong IPs. Their games are great, sure. But it doesn't really matter that their games are that good. What matters is that people want to play Mario. There's probably better kart racers out there, but you're not going to see people playing Sonic Team Racing like at a party. You're going to see people pull out Mario Kart 8 or whatever the fuck.
Sure, yeah. It's a lot more accessible to also people who don't. I feel like Nintendo was exclusively good at like making people who didn't know about video games like putting it into their lives. You know, right? The joke about your mom being like, "Is that a Pikachu?" And you're like, "You don't know what that is, but you do know that Pikachu is a Pokemon." So like in some world, Nintendo is accessible to you. I think Nintendo did that with like Mario Kart. Everybody can play. It's bright colors. It's a lot of fun. Like they for sure locked that down.
My grandfather, like, doesn't know. My grandfather will watch the news and be like, I don't know who the hell any of these guys are, but he knows Mario's ass. He's like, that's Mario Jumpman Mario. I'm like, yeah, you're right, Papa Betiket. That is Mario Jumpman Mario. And he'd be like, he has a frame 6 grab in Smash Ultimate. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right, Gramps.
You're like, right. Wait, what?
Yeah, ball knower. But yeah, no, I think this is a good idea for Xbox. Not the layoffs, obviously. I'm talking about the transition to a more focused on like key IPs. And I believe they're also trying to do less always on. But here's my issue. There's more stuff coming as well. Like ad-supported cloud streaming, which I don't think I'm gonna enjoy.
Like you can stream a game with
like
ads in it without
like
owning it.
Yes. So very similar to, I think PlayStation did this for a while, or they might continue to do this, where you could stream games from a library that you do not own. I believe it was that PS Now? I'll look up what specifically it was
it's
called.
like what the Luna from Amazon or whatever.
Like
the fuck.
Amazon Luna, yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's like play Fortnite with your Amazon TV remote, and you're like, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that's also smart TV expansion is also something they were looking into. So it is Xbox. So it is interesting. All of like the things they're clearly trying to shake the tree and see what people like, which I suppose I am a fan of, because it was getting very stagnant. The problem is I think they're going to be doing a big fight for market share. And as a believer in the ideals of a free market, I suppose, it's important to create conflict between companies. So I am glad that they are giving a reason for people to be like, hey, check out Xbox again, instead of just being like, oh yeah, Sony's the de facto winner and there's nothing to care about.
You heard it here, folks. Jonas is a free market absolutist. Companies should be
well, corporations
should be killing each other to get in your pockets.
Sorry. The other alternative is companies killing us. That's what's currently happening. Is companies are killing us and getting in our pockets, so they might as well fight each other.
I mean, on one hand, I think the gaming industry, while definitely has gotten lazy over the past couple of years, like we've seen the drop in content, and we've seen the quality of gaming just sort of fall as of the last couple of years. I do think they're fighting a losing battle. And like I swear to God, like I mention this often in the podcast, but like the Fortnitification of the gaming world, I think shook it to a point where it's like very hard to enjoy, because you had a game that swept everything, like just took over people's interest and their free time. That turned into a highly profitable monetization, model that introduced a battle pass and introduced a BR, a battle royale, for those who don't know. That every game after that then came along and was like, we're just going to do the same thing. Our game's going to be free, but our game is also going to have a highly predatory model that gets kids and adults to spend a ton of money. So then, quality of gaming takes a back seat, because you're not putting out the thing that is the best, because you're not competing against the best, you're competing against the quickest. And I think that is why people were like, even had some discussion around like something like Baldur's Gate coming along, and yes, having a multiplayer function, but sweeping the Game Awards because it was a good game with dynamic endings, solid voice acting, and total replayability. So on one hand, I'm like, yes, Xbox might be putting these people back to work, but the reason we got here is because the gaming industry as a whole completely turned itself over to this battle royale, battle pass model, right? We saw all the biggest games of the last couple of years come out with not only their base game but a multiplayer BR. So I'm like, if I'm a sadist CEO who's like, no, like forget content in gaming, like just make a BR and get people to play it. Like, yeah, obviously it makes sense why they went that way. And I think it's why we've, sorry to cut you off, we've also seen the rise, like you were saying a few episodes ago, the rise of the indie company, the rise of a studio with 50 people who put their heart and soul into the game, and then that game wins an award, and you're like, yes, because people want quality games. They want to invest their free time into something they actually enjoy.
It's becoming so like intrinsic to even types of games that you would think this would be impossible for, like FIFA. Like when we were kids, FIFA was literally I play soccer with my friend, blah blah blah. But now there's stuff like Ultimate Teams where it's filled with microtransaction. 2K's My Player mode is filled with all types of microtransactions. And I don't want us to just, I mean, obviously we hate microtransactions, but I don't want us to just be harping on that same point. But the economics of an industry do affect its outcomes. The economics of everything affects everything's outcome. And it's that clear that there needs to be like some understanding of like a prioritization of creating a good user experience and not just about the bottom line. But then once again, these corporations are corporations, right? Obviously there's a level of artistic integrity of the people within them, but they're trying to make a lot of money and games are becoming more and more expensive to make because they're requiring a level of fidelity that honestly people aren't asking for. I don't need my game to be the most like photorealistic, whatever, goobly-gook. If you want to make it a little bit more stylized, or even like the graphics not all the way there, I'm fine with that. I just would want an experience that I can enjoy, and maybe one that I could own. Let me own a thing. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. How often is like a CEO at a gaming company like not even like a developer, right? Like, the people you talk about, the heart and soul and the integrity of like the ground floor employee who's actually doing developing, they get into the world because they want to be a game developer and they like making that stuff.
Well, I mean,
the CEO's like some business MBA douchebag who went to, I say this as an MBA douchebag, who rose up to the top and is now CEO being like, well, how can we make more money?
Well, I mean, that's the discussion, right, with Asha Sharma, right? Because before she worked in Xbox, she was she led their AI team, their core AI product. And then before that, she was doing Instacart. She wasn't doing Instacart. I think she was the CEO or like the CFO
she was picking your groceries.
Instacart.
And that woman went on to be Asha Sharma.
Yeah, I tipped her $7 one time and she went, I needed that. No, but it is crazy. And I don't think I subscribe to the idea that people need to be like, you don't need to be a gamer to run a gaming company, but I would like you to have the best interests of those you are creating a product for at heart. I
push back on that.
Okay, I respect that.
Yes, you might have the business mindset, but how are you gonna know what the people want if you don't even yourself understand like the basics of I'm not saying you can capture everybody's wants and feelings as a gamer, right? There are certain things in a game that I want that you don't want or whatever. But like if you're coming from Instacart and you're running Xbox, like Xbox has been in the game since the early 2000s, before then, since the 90s. Oh God, when did the original Xbox come out? Regardless, it's been around long enough that people know what it is, and you have such a stake in the gaming world that you are a mover and a shaker. Different than groceries. Sorry.
Fair, reasonable. I was trying to also. I fucking hate Xbox's naming convention so much. I was gonna do a quick Google, look for the Xbox release date, and then I thought in my head they might think I'm talking about 360 or the Series X. I should probably put one to clarify that I'm talking about the original Xbox. Why the fuck did they release an Xbox called the Xbox One in like 2013 or whatever the fuck? It's so dumb. God, I fucking hate these companies. Well, also. I think the gaming space as a whole, there's discussions about trying to move away from creating so much hardware like they have in the past and just move towards a more software focused like market or what have you. How do you feel about that? I'm in full support of like we don't need a new console every 3 years or whatever because we're losing a fidelity race. Just make more games. But
yeah, no. I mean, I feel like when we were kids, the Xbox was like kind of spaced out. It wasn't like an iPhone where it was like every year there was a new one. I feel like the newest, like when I got an original 360, that was still the newest model. And then Xbox came out with the Xbox 360 Slim, the one that had like the touch button. And yeah, it definitely, I don't know if it comes out. I don't know if that bothers me as much as the fact that like games get phased out a lot quicker and like how Call of Duty comes out every year. But it's interesting you say the hardware thing because Steam coming out with their hardware system to be like, hey, we've been on your Microsoft computer long enough. Now we want our own console. And it's like, okay. And then the Steam machine, I think, sold out in like a day or something like that, like something crazy.
And also like I overlooked my chance to get a Steam Deck when I could have done it because I didn't expect the Strait of Hormuz to stop oil from shipping and all that good shit. And I thought I
had the foresight.
I should have, I guess. Sorry. Fuck me, I guess. I should have known. What would happen. Oh, fuck. But no, yeah. Brighten my spirit up. I'm tired of talking about things that make me look at a screen. Let me talk about some stuff that makes me look at some cardboard. What do you?
Yeah. So you want to hear about? So, all right, let me just give a little context here because we've talked about it in previous episodes. So, Palworld came out on Steam a couple years ago. I think a couple years ago it released in beta. I had friends who were playing the beta. And I say this, there are accusations that they used AI to create these Pokemon-esque creatures because someone in our comments came after me and was like, they never used AI. And it's like, really? Have you ever seen anything drawn like that before?
Yeah.
So it came out a few years ago. It kind of fell off a little bit. And then there was a resurgence. And I know like streamers like Cloaksy, The Burnt Peanut, like they started playing Palworld again and hunting down these like legendaries and shinies. Maybe we should play it for a Tap 2 Let's Play. You are disinterested in that?
I mean, you know I'm gonna do it.
What if we love it? What if AI is the future?
Shout out. Can I get that? And got him. Clip it and ship it.
No.
You're in the TikTok already, buddy.
So they have gotten enough popularity that they are releasing a TCG, and that TCG came out on July 30th. And this is so the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I'm worried, like we're newer to the world of TCG, right?
Yeah, sure.
We have not been around long enough for people to jump on the fad of TCGs because I don't think they were really a thing. Like, yes, there were like Dragon Ball Z cards and like the random like one-offs would come out here and there. But now there is a whole population of TCGs out there that just exist that aren't the big three, which I guess would be like Magic, Pokemon, and One Piece. Even One Piece is fairly new.
Sorry, pause. One Piece got a slot above Yu-Gi-Oh in your big three of trading cards.
Yeah, in my head, I forgot about Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's
the OG
up.
card game. I'm sorry, Yugi. I'm sorry, Yugi.
Send his ass to the Shadow Realm. What are we doing here?
Man, I'm acting like a real Kaiba at the moment.
Sorry, Kaiba would never make that mistake. He's too busy getting his bread up. Talk to him, Kaiba. Talk to him, Kaiba Corp.
All right, so essentially publishers make their money two ways. When somebody makes a TCG, they don't care about the resale market. They solely care about the wholesale sales of sealed product to distributors and stores. They also care about like licensing, right? So Bushiroad, however you say that, pays Pocket Pair for the Palworld IP, similar to how the Pokemon Company licenses from like Nintendo and Game Freak.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I'm trying to see what that Bushiroad do. Go ahead, though. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, apologize. Go ahead. I apologize. Feel free to continue.
I'll let you sit with that one for a minute.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, publishers make money from their initial selling, and then like anything after that in the secondary market, they don't see the trades that you do, the trade-ins to stores. They don't see that. So they announced in January 2026 and launched the first set, which was called The Dawn of Palpagos. I guess that's a region in Palworld, on July 30th in Japanese, English, and simplified Chinese. So they had enough traction and they had enough distribution power to distribute the cards in multiple language. As it stands, 2 weeks into August, right, Pocket Pair reported 3.5 million packs sold, which is pretty strong opening. Local card shops sold out very quickly. The shop up here immediately sold out. There was a chase card, right? So that's, again, how they get people to buy, is they put in cards that are printed in very limited quantities. There was one called the Cativa Gold Soul, sold on eBay for nearly $4,000 before stores even opened, which is fucking crazy. Driven by like pre-launch scalping.
Yeah, don't buy a card that's $4,000 for no reason,
especially on opening.
Yeah, you don't need to do all that.
So since then, in 2 weeks, prices have essentially steadied. They haven't crashed, but they essentially steadied. I think that gold sold card is now around like $1,200 to $1,600, with some day-to-day volatility.
Sure.
The reason I'm bringing this up is because, okay, you and I are into Magic now. We understand the Magic economy. We see how other TCGs interact, the ones that care about playability versus collectability. So then the question I have for you, based on the information I've given you, is do you think this is organic collector demand, or is the popularity of Palworld sort of a hype-driven scalping detachment from like actual gameplay? Like, do you think they made the Palworld TCG because they're like, TCGs are in right now, go fucking sell them and put chase cards in and make the cards go for $4,000? Or do you think it's like, oh, we actually authentically want people to play the TCG?
If I'm only allowed to pick one option, I would pick the former, which is that they were like, hell yeah, let's make some bread. We're ripping Pokemon off. It'd be so fucking funny to keep doing it and to keep ripping them off. But I also imagine that you can't develop an entire game without someone caring about it. So I imagine there's definitely people on the team who are like, hey, I care about the game we're making. I think it's really fun. I also think it'll be really cool or whatever. You know what I mean? But I will say this, just for me, whatever. I could not give a shit about this. I couldn't give a shit. And I don't think people shouldn't be wasting their money giving a shit about this either. If you are buying these cards because you want to play this game and you think this game is going to be super sick and fun and great and all of that good stuff, buy it, baby. Get nasty. Buy your cards. Have fun. You are on this earth for maybe 100 cycles around the sun, and if you want to spend it deriving a little bit of joy and connecting with people through a couple of cardboard, do that. But if you are buying it because you're like, this cardboard is going to be great because I get to sell it to this guy who's going to buy it for this much and blah, 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 then you should go into a dark hole and go fuck yourself. Because, oh my God, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh.
Yeah. I just, I feel like, yeah, I feel like sometimes it hurts the credibility of sort of the longer standing IPs that have been out there. Obviously things have come out since Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic that have stuck around and maybe have a smaller player base, but I feel like to me, maybe it's just cynicism where I'm like, I can't help but see this as like a grift where I'm like, oh, Palworld. But then again, to your point, Palworld 1.0, which I like is their sort of re-release, hit like about 850,000 concurrent Steam players at launch.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so like it's not like they made the Palworld TCG for no one. There definitely is people who care about it, but I can't help but see this as sort of like this thing got popular enough that we're then gonna sort of merchandise into a physical thing, and I'm curious to see if the Palworld becomes more of a collector thing or a game with mechanics that are actually fun and become driven by playability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do get that. My question is, how in the world would we ever just like say I'm what is it, Dirty Road? What is the name of this company? Palworld
Bushy Road.
Bushy Road. Sam Bushy Road. Sam Bushtown. How do I have this product that I love, Palworld. I've made it. I pushed it. People seem to love it. How do I figure out what's next for me without making it seem like a cash grab?
Because once you venture into the TCG space, you've got to develop that fucking TCG space, you know?
Yeah.
But we're watching Riftbound, take shape in a way. People are really liking Riftbound. And I think it started with a very established IP that then people are playing and being like, oh, the mechanics of the game are actually fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's very cool in my opinion. I think like that is a very fun idea, which is like, hey, I have a thing, I'm making a good thing, and people seem to like it. But that's also like so naive of me to say, which is, yeah, just make sure your thing is good. Obviously, everyone's trying to make sure their thing is good so it doesn't seem like a cash grab. You know what I mean? But the problem is, it's not easy to make a great, lovable, addicting card game that balances both fun mechanics and interesting new characters. It's hard. It's difficult.
Yeah. I'm curious to see. I haven't even seen what any of the Palworld TCG cards look like, because I was like, are they just AI generated? Like,
yeah. It's literally gonna be like, it's gonna still have like 6 thumbs and Pikachu is in the background for some reason. It's gonna be all types of fucked up.
So I think all that is to say is we should try Palworld 1.0 and put it on the BOCO, and that's what we're. Is that like a term, or are we just like colloquially saying BOCO for Tap 2 bonus content?
I think that might be a term. I'm pretty sure it's a term. If not,
it's your term. It's your term. It's
why not? Sure.
So keep a lookout for BOCO on Palworld.
Yeah, keep a quick little looky for the BOCO. That's absolutely. Is there anything else that that's really been on your mind today? Is that you really feel like you need to get off?
I'm so glad that we talked about 2 important things, video games and TCGs. It's almost like we started a podcast about that.
Yeah. We literally just need an excuse to talk about it was the whole point.
Why don't we wrap up the episode? Last week you talked about some of the things you've been doing, some of the things you've been watching. What's got your interest the last couple?
Yes, thank you. What have I been watching? I've been getting into what I like to call optimism slop. And I feel bad for saying that, but Ted Lasso's optimism slop. The latest season, I've watched 1 episode so far. Does it look good? Not really. Am I liking it? Yeah. Does it have that
Makes
same
you feel
shine?
good. It's hopecore, man.
It's hopecore, and I love me some hopecore. Yeah, it's good. It's fine. It's all right. I'm not like crazy over the moon about it. I'm not crazy. I just saw The Running Man, which is everyone stop what you're doing. on Amazon Prime, there is the most confusing message of a movie called The Running Man with Glenn Powell. It is about how like one company controls the entire world and the government, and that how everyone is bending the knee to this one company, and how like they're evil and they're creating entertainment at the cost of humanity, and it's owned. This movie was funded by Amazon, which I'm like, what are you talking? Did you not read the script for the movie you just made?
The irony is not lost on them.
Yeah, no, I think the irony is very lost on them.
They
And
get off on showing us movies like that and being like, who could that be?
yeah, and it ends. Spoiler alert for a movie that's a 6 out of 10. Spoiler alert for this movie. It ends with like a revolution that's achieved through violence, and I'm like, Amazon, are you sure you want to be the one to tell us that like the only way to achieve a successful revolution is through violence? It is very confusing. I'm gonna be thinking about that movie for weeks. It's one of the just the most confounding. Glenn Powell's fine in it. He's all right. I don't know if I trust Glenn Powell. Like every time I'm looking at him, I'm like, I don't know about you, man. I think we'd be good homies, but I just don't know what his vibe is.
I'd hang out with you in a group.
Yeah, you're a group guy. Hey, if I'm at a barbecue and I'm passing a beer around, getting a burger, you get a beer and a burger from me, brother. Don't worry about that. But if we're one-on-one, let's keep it civil. Okay?
Yeah. Give me a heads up give me a what's up in the elevator.
Yeah.
Sure. I
Sure.
watched The Running Man. I thought it was pretty good. Forgot that's how it ended.
Yeah.
It's not a very memorable movie.
The two things we've said about it is I can't stop thinking about this movie, and it's not a very memorable movie.
I wanted to watch it because I like that sort of like post-apocalyptic,
Fun.
dystopian type of stuff.
Have
You
been
playing anything?
I was literally, Stas, that was my literal sentence. I have been deep and obsessed with two games recently. I think I might have already talked about it last week. Make Way. Did I talk about Make Way last week with you?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Make Way is a very cheap indie game. Cheap as in it costs very little to buy, not that it looks cheap. And it is a super fun party game that I've been playing with my friends a lot when they come over. And it is Mario Kart meets Ultimate Chicken Horse, in which so every time you are racing along a track, and then you will get to the end because it's a very short track. And then you will see a screen where you each get to pick a new next part of the track to add. So maybe it's an obstacle, maybe it's a longer track, whatever. And then you have to race on that again. So you keep adding more obstacles, you keep earning points, and then the first person to reach a certain amount of points wins. And it is super fun, super quick. If you have like a bunch of people over and you're like cracking some drinks and chit chatting, very great way to spend your time. I've also been playing way too much FTL, if you know what that is, Faster Than Light. Oh, so good.
I've never played it, but I see you on Discord all the time.
It is such a good, like, I am at work and I'm like, all right, I got 5 minutes between, and the game is like it's not real time, so I get to like pause it, do some other stuff, come back, type some emails, send a blah blah blah. I'm waiting 2 minutes for a response, waiting 5 minutes between meetings, click on it. It is a game in which you are part of a galactic federation and you are making your way across the galaxy because you have information that can stop an evil rebellion. And on your way across the galaxy, you run into people like pirates and evil mantises and all kinds of crazy stuff. And you have to build up your ship, fight against those things, and make your way across the galaxy. It's my favorite kind of game because it's a roguelite, and you know I fucking love roguelikes so much. I love to let me pick three. Let me pick three of something. Yeah, it's very fun. So those probably are the games and the movies I've been watching. And TV, I've been Not Safe for Work was really fun. I binged that a while ago. And I think I'm gonna get into Adults, which I believe a new season just dropped, which are both like rom-coms about like a group of people. Not Safe for Work is like the employed version of Adults. Adults, everyone seems a little broke and grimy, and I kind of hate everybody, but I can't stop watching. Not Safe for Work is like kind of sterilized in a way that I enjoy, so I don't mind it. What about you? What are you watching and playing and enjoying and all that good stuff?
Great recommendations.
Of course.
I don't know. I've been kind of on my like rewatch replay grind. I'm rewatching The Office again. Sorry. I've been getting into Standard. I've been looking into Standard decks for Magic because Commander's been Yeah, Commander's been like a little blasé the last couple times I played, so I was like, oh, let me try like something with a little bit more competitiveness to it. And I am reading a very good book per the recommendation of the Ben and Emil podcast,
Nice.
which was the reverse. Did I say that last week that I was on the Ben and Emil Q&A?
No, you did not.
Oh, I didn't. Did I not? I think I sent it to you in like a voice memo or something. But yeah, I called into the Ben and Emil Q&A and I got on, which is kind of cool.
That's sick.
So yeah, I'm reading a book called The Reverse Centaur. What to do in life after AI. Seems pretty cool. Basically, don't become a reverse centaur. Don't be a human that is propped up by a machine. Use machines to prop you up.
Ooh.
Yeah. Pretty solid. And then of course I'm on the 5th book of Red Rising, the Red Rising series, Dark Age, which if you haven't read, if you're listening to this podcast and you like nerdy shit, fucking read Red Rising. It's the greatest book ever fucking written.
Okay. Sure, man. Yeah. Somewhere like authors of like classic famous literature are like turning over in their grave because someone thought that like the Hunger
fuck your
Games should
green
be on
light.
Mars.
Fuck the Great Gatsby. Give me Darrow, son of Lycos, aka the Reaper. Okay.
All right, man. All right, man.
All right.
Well,
I think that does it for this episode.
Thank you so much for hearing us go on and on. Thank you to everyone who has been watching, tuning in. If you've been enjoying any of the bonus content, any of the social media content, we have a Discord where people have been hopping in recently, which has been
social
super
media
fun.
and Discord, please.
Yes, follow the socials, do all the Discord, and come join us. We play games, we chit chat, we hang out. And once again, this is Tap 2, tapping out.